for another exciting presentation of NBA basketball. With Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. We're in San Antonio. The Spurs with home court playing here at the AT&T Center. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. And guys, what do you think we'll be seeing from Raymond Felton in this one?
You know, a lot of players love playing with Felton because of the way he can throw the alley-oop. He makes it look easy, but believe me, it's not easy. Throwing a precise alley-oop is kind of an art form in this league. You got to put it right on the money and anticipate when that leaper is going to get to the spot.
Right. Art form is a good way to describe it. Felton makes it look so easy, but, you know, it really is a play that requires a very good understanding between teammates as well. And sometimes I think we just forget that communication that is so necessary.
The Spurs have always been very mindful of resting key players during the regular season. Some of it has to do with age of their players. Some of it is regarding talent because they knew they were a playoff team most years. And you look at the research, there is something to be said for not playing guys when they're fatigued because injuries are more likely if you play tired.
The San Antonio Spurs able to put the first points up on the board. Smith. It's stolen by Green. And a fast break now for the Spurs. Green with the ball. And the rejection by Felton. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession.
Make a play, come on.
Off the inbound pass. Here's Duncan. That is good. Duncan's got his first bucket in this one. And back to the Spurs and their strategy of resting their star players, not without some controversy. The NBA, as you may recall, fined the Spurs and Coach Popovich for sitting all their starting players for a nationally televised game back in November.
Well, it was their fourth game in 5 nights, and Pop wanted to rest some of their guys because of just the nature of their schedule. But I think the problem was he didn't give the league advance warning. And that game against Miami, when he rested those 3 players, he actually sent them home. And I think that was a little shot at the league. And that's why there was a problem, and that's why the Spurs and Popovich ended up getting fined.
And the Spurs making a change here. Splitters checked in. And it's out of bounds to the Spurs as San Antonio retains possession.
Maybe a low percentage pass, but it still nearly got through.
I like it, though. I mean, it's an aggressive play. Heads up defending to deflect it away.
And goaltending is going to be the call. So they get the basket there anyway.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
But, you know, they've got a nice lead. Don't take any chances. The simple one-hander is just fine.
All going up court. Here's Parker. And Chandler sends it back. They recover it. The drive by Green. Here's Smith with the lead pass. Offensive struggles continue, missing again.
Kick it out! Well, I tell you what, Greg Popovich, a really impressive leader for the Spurs. He's able to keep all of his players locked into what's best for the team. Has a military background, played basketball and studied at the Air Force Academy before serving 5 years in the Air Force. And you know some of the leadership that he brings to his position was learned from his past experiences.
Well, they needed that one finally. That's just 1 of 5 now overall.
Here's Parker. Connects in the foul line jumper.
He's definitely got that shot in his arsenal.
New York's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. And Clark, you mentioned Pop's time at the Air Force Academy. That's where he got his start in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, 6 years as an assistant there. He's head coach at Pomona, an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs, and eventually moved into the front office in San Antonio. But, wow, what an amazing run it's been for him. 17 years as the head coach of the Spurs.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
And it's out of bounds. The Knicks will take it the other way.
24 seconds.
And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Smith the pass to Chandler. He kicks to Felton. He dishes it to Smith. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
One of the holy grails, if you will, for statistical achievement is to put a quadruple double on the books. Duncan came close in the 2003 finals, but he also came fairly close to it last year as well. 31, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 blocks.
Smith dishes to Felton. Feeds it to Carmelo. Excellent D there from Leonard.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. J.R. Smith picks one up. You know, Steve, you talk about big games for Duncan last season. Don't forget the game against Utah. 21 rebounds, 22 points, 6 blocks. He was incredible.
Yeah, he's the first player 35 or older to post a 20-20 in 5 games since 2001 when, ironically enough, his old teammate David Robinson reached that mark. So something's going on down there in San Antonio, I guess.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. Bargnani is checked in for Stoudemire. Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter.
You know, after losing Jeremy Lin going into last season, guys, I think some fans were concerned that the team might slip back to isolation basketball and their offense would stagnate, but instead they flourished as a three-point shooting team.
Here's Smith. Solid defense there from Ginobili.
Boy, he has been struggling mightily in this quarter, guys.
True. He really seems to have tightened up a bit for whatever reason. He looks tight.
And Doris Burke spoke with Mike Woodson. Doris?
Kevin, he said they've got to be very selective offensively, telling me going up against this defense, they're very conscious of trying to force you into low percentage shots. We can't allow them to dictate the type of looks we get each and every possession. It's up to us to break down the D and then make the right play. Kevin, let's see if they can get it done.
And Doris, as always, thank you. So, Steve, do you agree with Coach's game plan here, given how tough the D is that they're going to go up against?
Yeah, I do. I mean, a huge part of your game plan has to be focused on their D. And I think he's right to put that much emphasis on it.
Yeah, I agree with you guys because they are that good defensively. So you've got to worry about that and game plan for that. And then trust that your guys will execute what needs to be done.
And back to the Knicks personnel moves, you got to give them a lot of credit going out and finding shooters and defenders and Steve, playmakers to surround their star players with.
Yeah, they ended up with Bargnani, putting him at the kind of the shooting 4 spot, adding another three-point threat. The Knicks are always going to be aggressive personnel-wise. This was already a good team, second best record in the East, but you know they're looking to get better.
A shot by Smith. It's rebounded by Mills.
I think it's going to be tough for them to trim this deficit if he keeps missing those kinds of shots, Kevin. I mean, they need his points.
The shot by Bellinelli. No good. Knicks trailed by 9. And he's going up for the alley-oop.
Yeah, nice fast break from start to finish, guys.
Especially on the back end. I mean, he polished it off perfectly.
Ginobili, left side. Passes it to Bellinelli. The offensive rebound. The second chance effort. D out. Excellent D there from Bargnani.
Hey, I like creativity and a circus finish as much as anybody. But you better be sure you got a chance to make it.
And Diaw kicks to Bonner. Spurs passing it around. Again, the miss by the Spurs. New York's gone 0-3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
But there was some style there, Kev. It was a pretty sweet one-handed flush.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
With 2 seconds left. And Martin with the nice bucket inside. Martin's got his first basket. And so the first quarter is in the books. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And looking at what we've seen from the Spurs so far, guys, what do you think?
Pretty good start defensively. This club forced some mistakes and took advantage, and that's how they've built this lead.
And they've built the lead because not only have they forced turnovers, but they've taken care of the ball themselves. So that's a winning combination.
And New York, looking at who they've got. Anthony, Stoudemire, and Chandler, their front line. Pablo Prigioni is out there with Hardaway. And Prigioni kicks to Hardaway.
Let him get a rebound.
Tries to keep it alive. A shot by Anthony, no good.
And in the 2011-2012 season, Melo had a down year from behind the arc. Shot a career low, but he bounced back last year, guys. Definitely made him a more dynamic offensive threat, knocking down threes at a much better clip.
And for Carmelo Anthony last season, by far a career high in three-pointers attempted.
Well, he's capable of making shots from out there for sure. This was really a big part of the strategy for the Knicks offense. They wanted to spread the floor with him at that power forward spot. And if he had a bigger player guarding him, he could either take him outside for those threes or use his quickness to go right around him.
Tyson Chandler, first-time All-Star last season. His 12th season in the league. This is a guy that came right out of high school. It was a long time coming for him, but certainly that All-Star berth well-deserved.
Raymond Felton, he's checked in for the Knicks. And for Tyson Chandler, it's been a long road over the last few seasons. Steve, he's playing undoubtedly the best basketball of his career.
Yeah, key contributor on Team USA, an NBA champion with the Mavericks in 2011, and now an NBA All-Star. It's the defense, it's the understanding of his teammates and the game plan. Just a very, very smart player and a hard worker as well.
Ginobili the pass to Duncan.
Come get it, come get it.
The Knicks pull it in. Stoudemire kicks to Hardaway. Here's Anthony. Back to Stoudemire. Stoudemire right side. Ball's knocked loose. There's the pass to Hardaway. From downtown. Count the bucket. Hardaway has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They've got to get more intense. There were only 3 teams in the East that had a positive record against the Western Conference, and the Knicks were one of them. When you have talent like this team does, it doesn't really matter where your opponent is from because you're going to be able to compete.
Here's Stoudemire. That's in there. Anthony with the assist. And now just a 5-point Spurs lead. And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hey, guys. The last few summers, Carmelo Anthony has incorporated boxing training into his off-season regimen. He said being a boxing fan since he was a kid, he was always intrigued by the elite conditioning level boxers have to attain. He added that the hand-eye coordination and physicality help both his shooting and his ability to play at the power forward spot. Kevin?
Yeah, with his hard charging style of play, it makes sense. Thanks, Doris. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line. So Stoudemire will go to the line to shoot 2. That one on Ginobili. Well, Clark, as you mentioned, the Knicks against the West, when you had the offensive capabilities from deep that they did, you know, Steve, you're never really out of the game. Yeah, you should know.
Well, they could just shoot their way back into games very easily, and that's what they did a lot of times against some of those teams in the West. But you have to play well against the West if you want to win your division, and the Knicks were able to do that last year.
Let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for San Antonio.
Guys, they're really passing the ball well here in the first half.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
Back to Stoudemire. Outside, Felton. New York moving the ball around. Hardaway, no good.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Or the defenders have to make sure they tag it. What's interesting for me to watch with Mike Woodson as head coach in New York is the exciting floor spacing offense they started playing last season. In Atlanta, he'd been known for a grinded-out isolation play style, but has actually tweaked his approach a little bit, and that's been impressive.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. And back to Mike Woodson, not a flashier, high-maintenance type of personality. He keeps it on the level, and I think, Steve, the players appreciate that.
Players definitely like that. He's very quiet on the sidelines, but not afraid to get in your face when necessary. And I think that's a really good temperament for a coach to have. In general, I think he's a guy who is very well respected around the league and did an excellent job with New York a season ago.
So New York going with almost an entire new group here. Bargnani is checked in for Chandler. Martin comes in for Amari Stoudemire. Carmelo Anthony is checked in for Raymond Felton. And it's Iman Shumpert in for Hardaway. Smith for three.
Well, if you're going to learn from someone, you might as well take some lessons from Tim Duncan. That's what Thiago Splitter has done in San Antonio. Really kind of growing up under the tutelage of one of the great players of all time.
Good. Smith's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Boy, that was impressive. Major height disadvantage, but he still got the shot up over his man.
Well, he's got the poise to handle any matchup, and he's not easily intimidated. You can see that there.
Kept alive. Here's Leonard. And it's off from three-point range.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
That's kind of his strong suit, the ability to find his way through the defense and finish at the rim.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. And Splitter taken 28 by the Spurs way back in the 2007 draft, but they had to wait 3 seasons, Clark, for him to come over from Spain. And as Greg Popovich was saying just this past season, he's finally showing what he can do because he's been healthy.
Yeah, agreed, Kevin, and I think it was a wait worth making,
yes.
Quite honestly. I mean, one of the premier backup centers in the NBA the last 3 seasons, and he earned himself a nice payday with his new contract, too.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Parker dishes to Green. Duncan right side. Lays it up and banks it in. And the Spurs lead by 5.
Really good awareness right there on the assist.
Leonard with the steal. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
It's tipped. It's stolen by Green. And he lobs it up. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Shumpert passes to Bargnani. Parker with the steal.
Definitely a 2-for-1 situation here, guys.
Yeah, the wise move would be to find themselves a quick shot right away.
He's their leader defensively. He's able to do so many things well on that end of the court and takes the pressure off everybody around him. An indispensable asset for them.
And he gives them a terrific option in the low post every time down the court. Even with multiple defenders around him, he knows how to create a shot for himself.
Parker.
Shoots from 14. Here's Leonard. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Knicks trailed by 8. Oh, and the jam by Anthony.
Cutting into the lead with a huge one-hand throwdown.
That's how to get your team back into it.
Yes, sir. That may put a little life back into this team.
Now, here's Green. Leonard with the ball. Now, Anthony defending. Out to Parker. But he stays with it.
That's his first triple of the game. It was a dry first half for him from long range.
Oh, and there's the alley-oop. And finished off by Martin.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better. The pass, the catch, or the slam.
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed.
All of the above.
Parker. No good trying to beat the buzzer. And we finish. And the second half about to start here in just a few moments.
The Spurs last year were as tough as always in San Antonio. Hard not to beat when you win 50 games every season. Ended up with a 35-6 record at home, which was good for the third best in the league.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the floor for San Antonio, Green teams with Leonard on the wings, Diaw and Duncan at the 4 and the 5. And it's Parker in at the point guard position.
Yeah, close, but I didn't think he got on balance quickly enough.
And it's hard to draw charges as quick as players are at this level. That's not an easy bit of work there.
Now here's Felton. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. 5 on the clock. Stoudemire kicks to Smith. Felton. It's good, the assist that time from Smith. Smith's got 3 assists in the game. And with the Spurs, they are just so consistent. Every time they take the court, you always, Steve, expect them to get a win when they play in this building.
And the two teams with better home records in the NBA were the Nuggets and the Heat, both of whom had huge win streaks. But as you said, it's the Spurs' consistency every time out that lets them pile up these home wins without anyone really thinking much about it.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Well, as you know, gentlemen, Greg Popovich is one of the foremost practitioners of the intentional fouling that sends poor free throw shooters to the line. Not exactly a fan favorite, and Pop says, quote, I think it's ugly, I think it's awful, but it's legal, it's there. If somebody doesn't want to get hacked, they should shoot free throws better. Guys, he's all about winning. Whether it's pretty or ugly, he doesn't care.
They wear you down, Doris. Thank you so much.
You know, the more you watch Kawhi Leonard play, the more you realize that he is the perfect fit for the Spurs. I mean, he just looks like a Spur, and he's only been in the league a couple of years. Plays great defense, shoots from deep at a high rate, and really knows, accepts, and embraces his role on the team.
It's Parker outside. Tyson Chandler pulls it in. Chandler's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Another shot, and the layup good by Smith. Smith's got 6.
You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there.
Well, no box out, that's the result you get right there.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And back to Kawhi Leonard. Coach Popovich sees him as their defensive stopper on the wing. But not just that, he thinks he's going to be a star in so many ways.
Well, he could become the face of the franchise, Kevin, if you think about it, once Tim Duncan and Parker and Ginobili move on. But, you know, Popovich, not one prone to hyperbole, but he absolutely loves this kid.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the 3rd quarter. And yes, sir, that one drops.
Just seems like they're finding an open lane to the hoop every time down. That's 5 buckets in a row for them in the paint.
Yeah, on the flip side, Steve, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior.
Rejected by Felton. Kicks it out to Leonard. Spurs passing it around. Here's Smith. Shot is blocked. Parker dishes to Diaw. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Boris Diaw from France, really a unique player. I mean, he came into the league, guys, as more of a playmaking small forward. Now he plays at the power forward spot, and he's still much more of a passer than he is a scorer.
And Clark, you mentioned Diaw's skill level. Not the biggest or most athletic guy, but, you know, Steve, he's still effective.
He's really a great basketball player. What I mean by that, just he knows angles, he knows how to use his body to create passes and shots for himself. And defensively, he's very effective, particularly guarding the post because of his strength.
Matt Bonner, he's checked in for the Spurs. The Knicks shooting their 4th attempt at the free throw line right here.
J.R. Smith, last season's 6th man of the year, averaging 18 points per game off the bench for the Knicks. What a fantastic season.
Now, here is Smith. He's got 9. Felton kicks to Smith. And out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession. The Knicks making a switch here. Shumpert's checked in. Spurs leading by 11. Dishes it to Splitter. Dives for it. And it's out of bounds to the Spurs as San Antonio retains possession. Taken away by Anthony. And now Anthony pushing it up. No one back to stop him. And the jam by J.R. Smith.
Maybe that'll ignite him. I mean, impossible not to get pumped up after that. At least I think that would be the case.
Well, you can see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are. Look at them. They are pumped up.
Yeah, they're geek.
That's what those alley-oops do, though.
That one goes. Count it. Green's got 7. And for J.R. Smith, the New Jersey native, right at home, Clark playing for the Knicks.
And you knew he had the talent to be special. He just had to put it all together. He had a big season. The first player since 90 to come off the bench and score 30 or more in 3 straight games, Kevin. He's simply a bucket maker. You know, the Knicks got off to a fast start, but when you employ as many old bodies as they did last year, it's hard to sustain the level of play you need over the course of a full season. It's one reason they started to falter a bit late in the year.
Cole Aldrich. He's checked in for Tyson Chandler. Felton kicks to Aldrich. Ginobili the pass to Parker. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili. 9 points for Tony Parker. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Spurs.
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
And guys, the thing that jumps out at me is their block shots. I mean, they're playing up on the shooters tightly, and then they're sending them packing. I mean, putting those shots in reverse, all in a clear, good day's work.
Here's Parker. The Knicks making the shot. Just his first attempt. Misses off the left iron. And Clark, you said it, the Knicks did hit that lull last season right after the All-Star break into early March. But Steve, when the vets saw the finish line in sight, they picked up their play and got back in it.
That's right. They won 13 games in a row late in the season, catapulting themselves back into the top tier of teams in the East, and let everyone know that they would not be exiting the playoffs early. That really was the start of that run.
And New York making a change here. Bargnani has checked in for Aldrich. Martin comes in for Carmelo Anthony. Hardaway's checked in for J.R. Smith. And it's Pablo Prigioni in for Raymond Felton. Here's Prigioni. Martin with the bucket.
All the points these defenders are allowing inside is inexcusable. That's 5 baskets in a row, and they've all been practically laying.
Yeah, they've got to harden and toughen up down there, guys.
He lobs up the alley-oop pass.
Looky here. How about that one? That play. Take that play and put it in the alley-oop textbook for future reference.
Perfectly done. He put it on a platter for him.
He sure did. And how about the touch on the finish, too? That was really nicely done. Heard the whistle and still kept his focus, able to knock that down.
And that is not easy, Steve. I mean, to take the bump, to maintain control of your body, and put it in the hole, tremendous play.
Here's Prigioni. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials are getting together. They may want to review this one. Well, we thought the third quarter was over, but it turns out the officials are going to review the play to see if he released the ball before the buzzer.
That shot absolutely had to be reviewed. It's going to have a major impact on this game. To the naked eye, that was a very tough decision.
Man, you'd love for the replay to be definitive, but wow, even in slow motion, it's hard to tell if that one should count.
And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit. Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play should begin momentarily. Knicks trail by 10. Setting the floor for the Knicks. Anthony, Stoudemire, and Chandler, their front line. The guards, Ray Felton and J.R. Smith.
These defenders are not putting up much of a fight on the interior. It's been embarrassing. That's 10 consecutive points allowed in the lane.
And that's not the kind of streak you want to have if you're playing defense.
To the paint. That's good from Ginobili on the assist by Leonard. Leonard's got his 5th assist in this one. The Knicks shooting it pretty well, close to 50%. Felton kicks to Chandler. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, guys, with the Knicks playing a space-the-floor pick-and-roll offensive scheme, I mean, Tyson Chandler is a hand-in-glove fit as the high-flying finisher inside, keeping defenses honest and then cleaning up the mess on the weak side board if shots are missed.
Daniel Green, he's checked in for San Antonio. Parker comes in for Patrick Mills. Diaw can't hit.
He's trying to shoot his way out of it, guys, and as long as they're in the lead, he's going to continue to try to find his rhythm.
Smith dishes to Stoudemire. Gives him the lead pass. Diaw with the steal. Here's Green. A huge slam, the perfect end of the fast break.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
And Clark, you talked about what Chandler has meant for this Knicks team, both on the court and in the locker room. And you wonder, if Dallas, Steve had it to do over, do you think they would have tried harder to re-sign him?
Well, I understood the plan. Dallas felt like with Dirk Nowitzki getting older, they had to save that cap room for a superstar, maybe Dwight Howard or Chris Paul. But it's always easy in hindsight when those things don't happen to say, hey, what were you doing?
And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot two.
Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them, and free throws are better than a layup. Well, I think this is one of the more amazing stats in sports when you think about it. No matter the season or the roster, the Spurs just seem to find ways to win 50 games. They've done it 14 straight seasons now, which is off the charts.
Here's what San Antonio is going with right now. Splitter is checked in for Duncan. Matt Bonner comes in for Boris Diaw. Manu Ginobili's checked in for Daniel Green. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. Here's Smith after the made shot from Manu Ginobili. And there's the call on Ginobili. And that'll be his third foul so far. And Clark, as you said, the Spurs last season hitting 50 wins for the 14th consecutive season. By the way, that's an NBA record. Second closest were the Lakers with 12 straight, Steve, from 79 to 91.
Yeah, 58 wins last season for San Antonio. Greg Popovich calls it corporate knowledge, just the consistency that comes with the experience of the group. And they've been together so long, particularly that core, that I think it allows the Spurs to really kind of cruise at times during the regular season.
And Mills kicks to Bonner. It's stolen by Stoudemire. And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game. Pass to Anthony. Fires the three. Gets it to go.
Boy, they have been terrific from beyond the arc here in the second half. You look at the percentages, good number.
Just what the pharmacist prescribed. Those three-point bombs will erase the deficit quickly if they keep it up.
Now, here is Smith after the miss from Bonner. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Lets it go with a three. Leonard, no luck. Knicks trailed by 6. Kicks to Smith. Fires from the wing. Offensive rebound. Stoudemire.
Boy, they came out of the locker room at halftime with a much more physical disposition than they had in the first half.
Sure helps that they've gotten extra trips to the foul line here in the second, and that has to continue if they're going to complete this comeback.
San Antonio leading by 5. Mills passes to Leonard.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And he does it as well as anyone. Tremendous skill in the air.
New York calls timeout.
That was a good time to call the timeout to try to settle everybody down and get back into their offensive rhythm. They've been coughing up the rock an awful lot.
And a new group in for the Knicks. Cole Aldrich, he's checked in for Chandler. Martin comes in for Amari Stoudemire. Amon Shumpert's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. Hardaway is subbed in for J.R. Smith. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Yes, guys, over that break, I was able to catch the message Mike Woodson was giving to his team. He told his guys, I know we can do this, fellas. Let's maximize every possession and get after it and just watch. Things will go our way. Kevin?
And Parker, here we go. And the layup's good off the glass. And now a 9-point San Antonio lead. Ione dishes to Hardaway. Uses both hands to slam it down. A free run to the hoop and some thunder on the finish.
Not exactly the way the D would have drawn that one up.
When you got the space, you might as well throw it down. That's what I always used to do.
I got him!
Here's Prihione. He's guarded by Diaw. And it's Prihione missing. And Parker, here we go. Green kicks to Leonard. Lots of room.
Nice shot!
And it's good off the back of the rim and in. Leonard's got 11 points here in just the second half. New York calls timeout. They're losing by 11. 1:33 left to play in the final quarter. And a whole new group out on the floor right now for the Knicks. Felton the pass to Carmelo. It's stolen by Duncan. To the middle. Here's Leonard. And it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
For three, Smith. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. San Antonio with the ball. They're on a 10-2 run here. Wasted no time on that one. Green's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And he's someone the defense has to keep track of at all times because, even when he doesn't have the ball, he moves so well without it. He's constantly a threat to catch and shoot.
And another specialty of his is the three ball from the corner. That's his signature shot.
And he's having all sorts of problems with his shot.
I'm not sure he even has a shot right now, Steve, to be quite honest. Not a reliable one anyway.
And Duncan throws it down.
So they're going to walk out of here with a win and send this crowd home happy.
A very solid performance in a lot of areas for them.
A different look now for San Antonio. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Diaw. Bellinelli comes in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. Now, here's Felton.
Looked to me like the defender didn't get squared up and get his feet set.
Good work by the officials. A nice call. That play can be tough to judge sometimes. A lot of high hopes for the Knicks in last year's playoffs. They started off so hot, but then let the series against Boston drag on, and eventually went to 7 games, and they fell to the Pacers in the second round after that.
And the first one drops. And Duncan drops them both. Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation. 4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. And here's Mills for 3. And that one's good.
Well, this is going to seal the deal. They've really exploded here to the finish line.
Once they sniffed out that blood in the water, the killer instinct came right out.
Big blunder there, and that could cost them.
Major blunder, and you're right. A terrible time for that to happen when they're trying to chip away at this deficit.
Watch outside!
Chandler with the block. They retain possession. Bonner kicks to Bellinelli. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
And that puts a cherry on top, so to speak, of what's been a phenomenal showing for them.
All over but the whining now, Steve.
Boneheaded play, guys, plain and simple.
Yep, brain fade is what I like to call it. There's no way they're getting out of the hole making mistakes like that.
From deep, Green. Good.
They are killing them with that three-point shot here in the second half.
Well, the defense fully stretched out trying to stop that shot and still not able to get it done.
And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play, they showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Kawhi Leonard.